Okay, so this is the lesson 3 on learning more about fractions, and I intend to use the number line again as usual. This number line and practice with number line I found to be very useful for young learners. It makes it easier for them to visualize the quantities that they add up together. So again, as usual, we have a bar of chocolate here. This is a whole 1 bar of chocolate, and it's got 5 pieces to it. So every part, basically every piece here would be a fifth. So that would be a fifth, that would be a fifth, yeah, and so on. And I also have kind of placed it here on the number line, so we can see that it counts up as 1/5, and then 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5, which is the 1 whole one. So let's just count together as the way we practiced before. So let me change the color of, so 0, 0 here, and then we count. By then you would have 1/5 of the bar of chocolate. Then by the time we reach here, that would be 2/5 of the chocolate. Then it would be 3/5 of the chocolate, 4/5 of the chocolate, 5/5. We don't write 5/5, we write it as 1 whole one, and it just carries on. So if I can have another whole added here, and see if I can nicely divide into 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1. It's a little bit badly written, 1, and then this part here would be 6/5, which is actually 1 whole one and a fifth. That would be 1 whole one and 2/5. This is 1 whole one and 3/5. That's 1 whole one and 4/5, and 1 whole one and 5/5. The 5/5 is 1 whole one itself. So therefore we arrive at 2 whole one, and it just carries on, yeah. And it's good. It's good that you practice this with your learner, with your child, up to quite a reasonable number, maybe up to 5 or 6. And since they've been doing the thirds and so on, they should by then be able to count up and count back, and be able to see where the amounts would land as the quantities are getting larger and larger. Okay, so here so here when we're adding 3/5 to a 4/5, so 3/5 is here already. So if we count another 4/5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gets us to 1 and, sorry, 3/5 is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So 3/5 is here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it gets us to 1 and 2/5, yeah. So the answer here is 1 and 2/5. But it's also nice to recognize and show them that by the time you're here, you actually have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these fifths pieces. So this is actually the same as 7/5. But 7/5 is not a proper fraction, since the numerator is more than the denominator. So it's nice for them to know that they have 7/5, and 7/5 is in fact 1 whole one and 2/5. That will be another exercise that you can do separate to this addition. And the other kind of exercises that would be great to do will be, let me just rub some of these off. So for example, you could do change the color. So for example, you could do something like, for example, 1 whole one, take away, say, 2/5. So that would allow them to count back. So you start from 1 whole one and you count 2/5 back, and that will give you 3/5. Or you can add, you can, for example, have 1 and 2/5 plus maybe another 1 and 3/5, and see what what they would be able to achieve with that. They will, by then, if they have counted back and forth, by then they would be able to visualize this. Visualizing this for someone who's practiced the number line would be quite easy by then. So a 1 and a 1, whole 1, takes us to 2, and then we have a 2/5 and added another 3/5 to it. That's altogether 5/5, another 5/5. So we were already at 2, another 5/5 takes us to a whole 3. Yeah. A more challenging question would be, for example, to say, well, actually, let's do one that is not so challenging. So let's say, for example, we have 3 take away, let's have, 3 take away 1 and 2/5. So we're starting from 3 and we're taking away 1 whole 1. So take away 1 whole 1 takes us to there, and then take another 2/5 away. So taking another 2/5 away, it will leave you 1 and 3/5. Yeah, probably a more challenging question, challenging than what we just done, would be something like, for example, say 3 and 4/5. Take away 1 and 2/5. This is not as challenging as the next question, but we'll see how they cope with that first. So you're starting from 3 and you take 1 from it. Yeah, so that will already leave you 2. And you have 4/5 take away 2/5. So really from 2 you are, so that's 4/5 take away 2/5. It leaves you 2/5 on the starting point, on the starting amount. So 3 take away 1 is 2. 4/5 take away 2/5 is another 2/5. So that would be 2 and 2/5. That wasn't very challenging. The challenging one is when this is less and that's more. So if this was 2/5 and that was 4/5, then it becomes a little bit more challenging for them because they have to keep an amount in their minds and then go back a little bit. So here we'll start from 3. We take 1 from it. So that will take us to 2. Yeah, 2/5 take away 4/5. It's 2/5 on the taking away side. Yeah, so we already have 3 take away 1, so that's 2, but we need to still take another 2/5 off. And so really you have to start from there and then go back another 2/5. Or perhaps if that's a little bit challenging for them, you could in fact start from here, which is 3 and 2/5. Yeah, and when you take the whole amount, the 1 off, it takes you all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes you all the way to here. That's 1 whole. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1 whole taken off. So that's that 1 whole taken off. And then you will have to take another 4/5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it takes you to here. Yeah, so that might be a way of dealing with that question. Now, I would probably do one more lesson on here. And in that lesson, I like to introduce the younger learners to decimals. So therefore, we would be using a tenth in our number line. So in fact, the divisions would be smaller than this, and it will be 10 of them by the time you get to the whole 1. And that would be an introduction. So if I just quickly, so that would be introduction to, so that would be 0, that would be 1, So we'll have a division of 10. Yeah. So that's halfway there. Divide that into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be a tenth. That'll be 2/10. That'll be 3/10. 4/10. And go on all the way up to 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be 9/10. And that will be 1 whole 1 by the time we get here. Now a tenth in decimal, we write it as 0.1. So that's 0.1, that will be 0.2, that will be 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, so that's 0.6 there, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and that's 1. Yeah. And then you could say to them, right, okay, so what do you think 1 and 1/10 would be as decimal? And then you can confirm it to them. That will be 1.1, and then 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. These countings are very, very critical for their learning. Yeah. Being able to quantify something on a scale makes it easier for digesting how the quantities are mounting up to a certain amount. Okay, so don't forget to do counting up as well as counting down until it becomes fluent.